Hi guys, what is going on, and welcome back to today's video. Now today is gonna be a personal Q&A. I'm sure you've seen by the title of the thumbnail, and I've wanted to film one of these for ages, but I just haven't got around to it, and I know that a lot has happened recently, so I thought it'd be really interesting to ask a question on my Instagram and just get a response. So this is gonna be questions from you guys that was on my Instagram post. So I am gonna dive in. I'm not gonna ramble on anymore because I want to answer as many as possible. There's quite a few. I've got a double sides here. I didn't want to waste time like scrolling through my phone, so I just picked out really interesting ones, and some of them were like mentioned more than once, so I'm sure that I'll answer that question too. So I am just gonna like dive right in, and the top one, at Phil the Sailor Man: if you could train anywhere in the world, what location would it be? Now I'm going to Dubai tomorrow. It's my like last trip of the year. I'm so excited, and there is a small outside gym in Dubai on JBR Beach, and that is so ideal. It's on the beach, it's really warm, it's got like CrossFit style equipment, so I really love to train there. And another gym in Dubai is called Train SF, and if you go there, it's like, oh my god, it's got like the most amazing looking people in the world. You go there and you're like, oh my god, I just need to train more. Also saying that, in Stockholm there's somewhere called Gym and Fitness. I think it's called Gymnet. I'm gonna say that wrong. I'm gonna absolutely destroy the name of it. And that's another place, really cool equipment. So if you're ever in Stockholm, that is the place to go. At I'm Don Van And: what are your fave shops to buy from, or clothing brands to wear? I assume it's like just normal clothes, because obviously my sports clothes I always get from Gymshark or Lululemon. I love their pants. Adidas, I always wear their trainers. But my favorite shops, I suppose if I'm going like high street, I never really wear like expensive brands anyway. I'm just a very like high street girl. I go for like Topshop, H&M, Miss Selfridge. I get loads of stuff from there because they do a really good petite range. If I'm buying online, it's normally ASOS. In the Style do really cool things, and also Naked Fashion. So yeah. At Loza Posa, good name: how is your hair so smooth? Biggest mystery to me. Looks like you get it professionally done every day. Well, I have just washed this and I've kind of just left it. Well, I do have hair extensions. I don't know if you can see there. They're called raccoon extensions. They're not like bonds. They're almost like double-sided tape. It doesn't sound like they're gonna stay in, but they do. I get them put back in because they kind of grow out with your hair around 6 weeks. I get my colour done, so I don't have a bleach anymore on my colour. I just get like an all-over like root tint, so it's more of like my natural colour. And I use Moroccan oil when I blow dry it, and I normally don't straighten it loads. I kind of dry it off, and then this is it. This is the finished product. So I suppose that smooth hair, shiny hair has a lot to do with diet as well. So make sure you drink enough water, eat enough healthy fats like avocado. I love like fish, nuts. So that is my tips. At Meg _ Bonner: what skincare products do you use? Now my skin, you may have noticed that I have broken out. I broke out a lot recently. I'm pretty sure I've had blood tests if you've watched my previous vlogs, but it's in hormonal areas. So I'm also gonna, and I haven't actually mentioned this before anywhere, gonna go for a food allergy test, because actually it was my hairdresser Katie. I said it's just getting me down. I'm sure guys, if you know that you've like broken out or have got bad skin, that it just makes you feel, I don't know, self-conscious, I suppose the word is. And Katie went, my hairdresser, she had really bad eczema. She suffered with it all her life, and I said, well, this isn't something that I've suffered with all my life. And she said, actually the woman who did the food allergy test said that it can just like come on like any time in your life. You can just be allergic to something. So I'm gonna get, when I come back from Dubai,
I'm gonna do a food allergy test as well. But skincare, I'm just digressing here. Skincare, I have changed to Bare Minerals products because obviously it's a mineralizing foundation and the products that they use. So if I've got makeup on, which to be honest I tend to do when I go to the gym, not like caking makeup on, but some makeup on to make me feel more like secure. I don't want to like have like massive spots in the gym. That when you're like sweating or anything, the mineralizing foundation is best for your skin. So I've changed to Bare Minerals. I use Elemis to take my makeup off at night. It's like a cleanser, so I use that as well. And I think I've got just the daily moisturizer, Clinique moisturizer for every day. At Chris Z_138. If you could go back to a period in your life, what moment would it be and why? I suppose the times in my life which I love and I always remember. I remember my childhood a lot when my mum and dad were together. I had a really, really lovely upbringing. But there were many points in my life, there have been many points in my life where I've been unhappy. In my teenage years, I didn't have an awful lot of friends and I was overweight and I had a lot of heartbreak with boyfriends at the time. But I suppose there are points in my life, like the occasions, and sometimes it always happens when I'm on holiday on the beach and it's like a really peaceful moment or the sun is setting. You kind of just want to like take in the moment. But I suppose really, like, to be quite honest, there's no points in my life that I'd want to go back to, because I'm always in the mindset that you have to live in this moment and think about the future. Like, think about the nice things from the past and learn from mistakes and things that you may like regret a bit. But I honestly am so content at where I am now, and I have loads of goals and I'm comfortable in myself. Yeah, so I know that sounds a bit cheesy and a bit like, I don't know, funny to say, but I'd really never want to go back to a point in my life. I'm happy, happy, happy. At Autumn and Rain, how did you get involved with everything you do, like Gymshark or Nocco? Did you reach out to them? So, this is something that I get asked quite often in a roundabout way, how you get sponsored by brands. I've been quite fortunate that brands have approached me. I've never really approached them, but I definitely say that you can do. It almost needs to be the right time, and you need to feel like that relationship between the brand and you have to feel like you fit in with their content and can almost give something to the brand. You need to feel like you can kind of enrich them too. So what happened with Gymshark, it was 1.5 years ago now at Body Power. Ben Francis, who is the owner of Gymshark, and Dan Craney, who was the athlete manager at the time, he's moved on to different things now. They actually approached me. I think I had an email a few weeks before just saying that they were interested in me, and I was with my protein at the time. I was on the stand with them and I had a meeting with Dan and Ben, and they kind of just said, we would like to have you, and told me their like vision, and I said about my vision for the future. I kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do at the time there, and 1.5 years ago seems like almost a lifetime away in like my fitness social media life, I suppose. I was like blown away. Even at the time, Gymshark was not a big deal then. It was only just kind of grown and getting started, and it's grown like 1 million times over, and the clothes are just so much better, and there's so amazing athletes, affiliates attached to the brand. So that's how I got involved with Gymshark. And Nocco was kind of the same. They approached me, same with Ghost. But what I would say is, because I get so many questions saying, how can I be sponsored by Gymshark? And following obviously makes a difference, guys. It's definitely not all about following, but you do have to have a number of followers to be able to reach out to the audience that the brand wants you to attach yourself to, and you need to have engagement. Just be mindful of that too. Katie Miller 96X, your makeup always looks flawless even after a workout. What products do you use? So I've talked about my skincare a little bit. I use Hoola Benefit Bronzer. I use a MAC blusher. I've told you about Bare Minerals foundation. I don't use the powder, even though you can get a powder. I use the actual liquid foundation. For my eyes, I always use a matte liner.
I use almost like a bronzing eyeshadow, and I use a Benefit's eyebrow pencil and a MAC mascara. That's what I use at the moment, guys. I'm sorry I don't have the products to hand. _ Alicia, would you like to live abroad? If so, where? Well, I've just come back from Stockholm and that city makes me feel happy. Honestly, I feel like I just fit in there. The same as like Orange County, Newport Beach. Anywhere that is just really chilled out. The people are friendly, relaxed. It's got like a healthy lifestyle, culture. But I'm really happy where I'm living now. I like living in the northwest of England, even though like we're struggling for lights at the minute, even though it is 12 o'clock midday. But I like coming home. I feel like this is my home for now. I like going away, but I also like coming home. So I don't think I could live abroad at this moment in time. Laos Al1. Out of all the places you've traveled to, what has been your favorite and where would you still like to visit? Well, I've said kind of my favorites. It's the places that I could see myself living. Any like Scandinavian countries. Oslo is beautiful. Obviously Stockholm, which I've said. I do really like California. LA probably isn't my thing so much. Like the center of LA, but like San Diego, all those kind of places, beautiful. I'd really like to do more European cities. I've heard like mixed reviews about Italy, but I'd still really like to go there. Mykonos is like an Instagram dream. It's all like white, the beautiful island, and supposedly has really like chilled out vibes, nice like house music and like beach days, and that'd be nice. Me and my best friend Lauren are talking about going to Bali in March next year, so that should be so cool. At Larry J91, what made you leave competing and do you prefer it without the pressures? So what made me leave competing? I competed lastly, if you don't know guys, at the British finals in October last year. So it's more than a year, about a year and 2 months since I last stepped on stage. I am probably like 12 kilograms, 13 kilograms above where I was then. To me that is totally fine because I'm really comfortable the way that I am now. I'm going to Dubai, and I think later on, later's post is gonna be about self-confidence and feeling comfortable, because I'm still eating exactly the same thing that I was eating before. I've been on lots of holidays this year, traveled a lot, and at the moment my diet hasn't been really as it should be. But I was listening to a really interesting podcast about how we need to kind of not associate the way that you feel about yourself in association with your actual body. You need to kind of keep that separate. And at the moment I know that I'm happy. I am really a lot healthier than I was then, and like I said, I've kind of just grown up and I know myself, I know my strengths and I know my flaws. But what you're saying, Larry, about preferring pressures without competing, there's always pressures, but kind of if I didn't want the pressure, I felt like it was too much pressure, I'd do a different job, because I know that putting myself out on social media, there is gonna always be kind of, I'm gonna get scrutinized whatever I do, and I think you can't please everyone. Like some people may have preferred my body when I was stage lean, some people may like prefer it now, but in the end of the day, you're not there to please everyone. You can only kind of do what's right for you at the time in your life, and you have to live in your own body. What I left competing for is because I wasn't prepared to put myself through that. I wasn't prepared to sacrifice my health, and also I had kind of a few moral things in my own head about standing on stage and letting judges critique the way that you look and compare yourself in order of ranking to other girls. I felt like it wasn't the message that I was putting out anymore, the right message that I wanted to put out. So I hope that's answered your question in a roundabout way. As Evelyn.Comedy, butchering names, do you want any tattoos? I had friends at university who always got tattoos. I hung around, I was a bit of an indie chick at the time, and nothing ever stood out at me. I've never wanted something permanent on my body at the moment, but never say never. At cat_life_strength, how did you make the step from teaching to fitness? As I'm struggling to take the step myself, not from teaching though. So if you don't know guys, I'm not gonna ramble on, but probably if you watch my first video, like don't judge me for it.
goddamn awful. If you watched my first ever video on YouTube, I discussed how I made the transition from teaching to fitness, I suppose, to where I am now, which is kind of like social media. I suppose my title is an influencer. But I was a teacher for 2 years, and I made the step into doing this, social media, Instagram. I suppose what I did, I started with my protein sponsorship. So I did work for them. I didn't get paid for ages and ages, but it wasn't really a thing like 2 years ago. It wasn't really a thing that like you got paid. I mean, I never knew I would make a career out of what I'm doing now. Like in my wildest dreams, I could have never thought about it, but I used my Instagram as like a blog really to document weight loss. Then I got in the newspapers for my weight loss and my transformation, and I was doing competitions at the time, and I just won the Northwest Championships. And obviously it's quite difficult to leave your social media open if you are a teacher, because children are inquisitive, and social media was becoming like more of a thing, especially Instagram at the time, and I knew that I was gonna have to take the step eventually. Luckily my school were really supportive of me, and because I was kind of judged to be a really good teacher, and I still really put all my efforts into teaching, they really kindly, which honestly I am so grateful for, let me go 2 days a week. So I only worked on a Tuesday and Wednesday, whilst I could still do like photo shoots and go to events, and then I worked on my website, which had a subscription fee attached to it. I did blogs on there and built up some income doing that. And then after 6 months of doing that, I kind of tested the waters and seen if I could actually make a career full-time out of this, and I am doing now, and it's going really well. So what I would say, Kat, is you've eventually got to make a leap, or you'll never know if you can do it, but make a strategical leap. We all need to survive, don't we? We all need to make some kind of living doing something. I would say it needs to be at the right time, it needs to be strategical, but in the end you've got to go for it, or you'll never know. Oh, Victoria says, what would be your #1 tip for getting over a boy? First of all, I just sense in that question that you are going through like some heartbreak or disappointment, or you're not feeling like confident at this time in your life. So what I would say is it's not always going to be like that, first of all, and people do get over anyone, even though it feels at the time that yeah, you can't do it, and I definitely have in the past. I'm a lot stronger than I was before, for sure, but I would say something to get over them, especially like the world that we live in on social media, where everything's so accessible. Like you can literally like click on WhatsApp and like write a message and it's done. It's like 10 seconds done, and then like almost the damage is done and you're still in someone's life. So what I would say is if you know that it's over, if you know that you do not want to be with them, if you know that they've done something horrendous and you are worth more than that, for sure, I would say just like my sister says, cut them off like a dead limb, which is definitely like remove them from your life, like remove them from any social media, remove them like their phone number, everything like that. If there's not anything attached to it, obviously, like children or whatever, if there's no like baggage, if you still don't need to get your heels back, you know that you like those heels and you need them back from his house, just yeah, remove them from your life and you will get over them so much quicker. If they're still almost in the background, they're always going to be a little niggle and you won't be able to move on as fast. So I would say remove. At Katie_M, I want to ask, are you single? I would like to hear your philosophy about love, if there is one. I don't know if I've got a philosophy about love. I'm going to answer this question because it's been asked so much on my post. Are you single? Are you single? And this is quite a nice one because it's like a philosophy about love, and even though I don't like to admit it, I probably am like a secret romantic. I've been single for over a year now, and I am really happy that I had this time to be single, because it's allowed me to travel, it's allowed me to be a little bit selfish, but not in a horrible way. It's allowed me to have the freedom to not be almost like accountable to anyone, to not have any ties, to be able to just kind of do things I want to do, and it's really allowed me to grow my business, I suppose. I have been on dates before. I've been on quite a few
I suppose I've been on a few dates this year. I was seeing someone at the start of the year who it turned out that he had a girlfriend, so that wasn't great. I am sometimes a little bit of a pessimist when it comes to relationships, but I'm trying to be more open-minded, and at the moment I am seeing someone. We are dating at the moment. It's only a recent thing, a very recent thing, and I did know him. It's so random. I knew him years ago, and before I started any kind of fitness thing, and he's kind of just come back in my life. It's really strange how some things happen. I'm getting a bit you know when you're getting a bit awkward? I'm getting a bit awkward about this now, guys. It's crazy how things happen, but at the moment I'm really happy. I think with any kind of relationship, I wouldn't maybe publicize it on my social media page, because even though it's very, what is the word? It looks like I'm sharing all my life on my Instagram and YouTube and things, but there are still some things, guys, that I like to keep personal and don't like to kind of publicize to the world. So if it develops, hopefully it will develop, because we are really enjoying each other's company at the moment. I will tell you the story. I will let you know the story about what happened and how we kind of like came back into each other's lives then. But I will never be that person who kind of posts everything about each other, like being with each other about like through everything, and start like posting loads of pictures on my Instagram or featuring him loads in my vlogs, because I do feel like that is sometimes, and especially kind of now, I feel like there should be some privacy in your life, and so I really hope that, I'm sure you can respect that. But yeah, to answer your question, I don't really have a philosophy about love, and I would say that I am single at the moment, but like dating, and it's nice, and that. So guys, that is all for this personal Q&A. I really hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please make sure you click like. If you have any other questions that you'd like to ask, please make sure you pop them in the comments below. And thank you for watching, and I will speak to you soon.